Hey everyone, welcome to AI Deep Hallucination. Today's interview question: your agent stuffs skills directly into the system prompt. Skills keep piling up. The context window is about to be eaten alive. What do you do?
Isn't this easy? Layered loading, progressive disclosure, right?
Half right, and you'll get follow-up questions. We covered skills 3-level progressive loading in our previous episode on MCP versus skills. 50 skills not triggered take only about 5,000 tokens. Looks airtight. Today's twist, with detailed descriptions, 5 or 6 skills already start to break.
Wait, let's be clear first. What kind of skill are you talking about?
Great question. That's the first scoring point in an interview. Today's skill specifically refers to Anthropic agent skills, launched October 16, 2025, the SKILL.md folder format.
So why do so many people confuse it with tool?
Because Microsoft's semantic kernel originally called these skills, then officially renamed them to plugins on October 4, 2023, leaving the term vacant. Anthropic reused the same word 2 years later, but the meaning is completely different, from a pure prompt collection to a folder plus progressive disclosure architecture.
Okay, back to the topic. Why does metadata of just 100 tokens break things when you stack a few? My intuition, 100 skills times 100 tokens equals 10,000, which is only 5% of a 200,000 context. That's nothing, right?
Your intuition's math is wrong. The real bottleneck isn't total tokens, it's 3 mechanisms compounding. Let's start with the 2 most direct: char budget truncation and n-squared attention dilution. The third we'll cover after.
Char budget truncation. What does that mean?
Claude Code has something called skill listing, the full list of skill names plus descriptions shown to the model. It has a total budget, 1% of context, or 8,000 characters as fallback.
And the per skill limit?
Per skill, description plus when to use combined caps at 1,536 characters. If you write detailed descriptions, say 1,500 characters, 5 or 6 already blow through the 8,000 character fallback budget.
Then routing just breaks?
Right? Anthropic's own words: if you have many skills, descriptions are shortened to fit the character budget, which can strip the keywords Claude needs to match your request. The worst part, this happens completely silently. No error, no warning.
Then I just write shorter descriptions?
Then bottleneck 2, n-squared attention. We covered this in the agent context engineering episode. Transformer architecture: every token attends to every other token. N tokens means n-squared pairwise relationships. It's an architectural math constraint. Bigger windows don't fix it. Industry calls this context rot. Chroma proposed it in 2025. Anthropic's blog adopted it as the standard term. It's not lost in the middle position bug, it's the attention budget being diluted across too many tokens. On skills specifically, more metadata, the lower the chance each one gets noticed.
Okay, what if I avoid both of these?
There's bottleneck 3, the most lethal: disambiguation. If you have 3 skills all about PDF processing, the LLM can't pick. Anthropic's own words: if a human engineer can't definitively say which tool should be used.
An AI agent can't be expected to do better.
Right? 3 similar skills are worse than 100 non-overlapping ones.
Got data?
Berkeley function calling leaderboard v4 measured this. Introducing semantically related distractor functions yields an average drop of 1 to 8 points.
Wait, doesn't Anthropic's own doc say 100 plus is fine?
That's a theoretical upper bound, not a performance recommendation.
Do they themselves load 100 at a time?
Anthropic engineer Tharik shared on March 17, 2026. Their team has plenty of skills, but they use namespace plus path to narrow down the actually active subset. They don't show the LLM 100 at a time.
Wait, what's namespace?
It's a grouping prefix attached to a skill like frontend/lint, backend/deploy. At any moment, you only activate the group for the current scenario.
Anyone actually doing this?
Reza Rizvani published 235 skills himself in half a year. He's literally the practitioner using plugins to split skills across 9 domains, and only 12 are actually invoked weekly. That's the answer. In real production, no one activates 200 at once. They use namespace to narrow to the subset needed for the current scenario.
Okay, my production now has 80 skills and accuracy is degrading. How do I rescue it?
3-phase rescue. Phase 0 is 5-minute first aid. Bump/command tool char budget up to 24,000. Immediately eases description truncation. The cost, it amplifies bottlenecks 2 and 3, more metadata in the listing, attention spread thinner. This only delays the wall.
And then?
Phase 1 is half-day inventory. Write a script to scan all SKILL.md files. Group them by Tharix functional categories, library reference, code quality, runbooks, and so on. The key step is recording each skill's last invoked time. Anything with 30 days of zero invocations is a zombie. Delete, don't merge.
Phase 2?
Phase 2 is structural rescue, 3 front matter fields plus 1 plugin packaging.
What's front matter?
It's the YAML config block at the top of a SKILL.md file. The first field is paths, glob patterns that limit when the skill auto-activates. For example, your Django review skill only enters the listing when you're editing Python files.
Okay, second field?
Second is disable model invocation set to true. This pulls the skill out of Claude's auto-selection pool. It can only be triggered manually with a / command. Good for high blast radius skills like deploy, drop database, production rollback.
What's the third?
Third is context fork, the killer move. The skill runs inside an independent subagent. The main agent essentially outsources the task and only receives back a summary. The raw execution detail never enters main context.
How much does it save?
Built to Snow measured this in 2026. 5 parallel agents without fork accumulate around 243,000 tokens. With fork, 5 together total only 68,900.
Why such a huge gap?
Child 1 takes 48,700. Children 2 through 5 each take only around 5,050 thanks to prompt cache prefix reuse without recomputing.
Fourth?
Fourth, plugin packaging. Bundle skills for the same scenario into one plugin. The plugin name is automatically prefixed onto each skill as a namespace.
Example?
Rizat Rizvani took 235 skills, split them across 9 domains, and packaged them into 9 core plugin bundles: engineering, marketing, product, and so on. Users only install the plugin they currently need. The others don't even put metadata into the listing.
Sounds perfect?
One more cut: security. The skill scan paper scanned more than 31,000 public skills. 26.1% contain at least one vulnerability. Skills bundling executable scripts are twice as risky. Odds ratio 2.12, p less than 0.001.
So the more executable scripts in SKILL.md, the more dangerous?
Yes, Skill Inject measured up to 80% attack success rate on the then frontier models, GPT-5, Claude Opus, that tier. The paper says this problem will not be solved through model scaling.
Did Anthropic do something?
In early April 2026, Claude Code added a switch, disable skill shell execution, directly disabling shell commands embedded in skills. The cost, giving up the economy of executable scripts.
What about skills downloaded from a marketplace?
Snike Scan ClawHub Plus skills, SH, nearly 4,000 skills total. Around 1,467 contain security flaws, 76 are confirmed malicious payloads.
Any other scans?
Koi Security separately found 341 malicious skills on ClawHub. Never install skills directly from an untrusted marketplace.
How do I score top in an interview?
30-second elevator answer. Progressive disclosure is a starting point, not the answer. 3 mechanisms: compound, char budget exhaustion at 5 or 6 skills, n-squared attention dilution, and disambiguation failure. Anthropic's 100 plus is theoretical, not optimal. Production rescue is 3 phases: first aid, inventory, then phase 2's 4-pack.
One sentence to sum up this episode?
More skills is better. That's a gut feel trap. The real masters keep most skills out of the listing. 4-pack, path scoping, disable model invocation, context, fork, and plugin packaging. If you've got an interview question you'd like us to break down, drop it in the comments. If this helped, hit subscribe and we'll see you next time.